Helldivers 2 has been given a huge sandbox glow up as Arrowhead, the makers of the game, have finally pumped it full of so many buffs it's actually difficult to keep track of how much overall has changed. I've fired up the game for the first time since Escalation of Freedom and dove in for several hours with the boys, and I gotta tell ya, goddamn, shit's good. Today we're going to go over not every buff, because again, good lord, there's a lot. But we'll go over a bunch of them, basically the ones I like the most and found the most fun, or the ones that most current players and or former players would care about the most if you hadn't played in a few weeks and are peeping over the e-fence thinking about spreading some democracy for old time's sake. I'll also give my overall thoughts on the Make Helldivers 2 Fun Again patch towards the end of the video. Let's go! But before we get into all that, let me tell you about eating S-tier meals at home with zero meal prep, and it's all delivered right to your door. That's right, today's video is sponsored by Factor. Take the stress out of meal planning and disorganized trips to the grocery store. Factor delivers fresh, never frozen meals right to your door, all chef-crafted, dietitian approved, and ready to eat in 2 minutes. I've been eating Factor for literally years, Anno and I both. And I love to cook, but hey, I get busy. We get 4 meals per week, 2 for each of us, and honestly, those are some of my favorite nights because I know dinner's not only taken care of, but there's no cleanup, and I know I'm getting something good because I pick the meals myself. Choose from a weekly menu of 35 options, including popular choices like Calorie Smart, Keto, Protein Plus, or Vegan and Veggie. They also have more than 60 add-ons every week, like breakfast, on-the-go lunch, snacks, and beverages to help you stay fueled and feel good all day long. For the record, Anno's current favorite is the honey mustard chicken, and mine is still the spinach and mushroom chicken thighs. I'ma keep singing their praises and ordering from them. Do yourself a favor and check them out. Use my link in the pinned comment and use code Fallout50 to get 50% off your first Factor box plus 20% off your next month. Again, use my link and code in the video description, Fallout50, for 50% off, and thank you Factor for sponsoring today's video. Alright, we back, and let's kick things off with weapons, many of which got changed. I'm gonna start with the one that actually surprised me the most, the flamethrower. For those of you who know me, I've been very outspoken in the past about how I genuinely don't think Arrowhead could ever make the flamethrower a weapon I'd actually want to use, and damn do I stand corrected. Well, mostly corrected. I still don't think the flamethrower should be used on anything other than Terminids because the range is severely short and bugs for the most part have to attack you up close. Don't try this on automaton, kids, but holy lord, the damage. It's been bumped up by 33%, and the mechanics have been reverted to what they were before the Escalation of Freedom update, which, if you remember my video on, I was genuinely annoyed they nerfed all fire weapons before the all fire weapon warbond dropped. On top of that, you can now damage heavier enemies like Chargers, Bile Titans, Impalers, and Hulks with fire damage. I'd always been kind of hesitant to bring the flamethrower into combat because then I'd have no weapon to use on Titans or Chargers. But Jesus, what a glow up. Flamethrowers not only work on Chargers, they absolutely demolish them. More than once, I wound up burning a Charger, and either they were getting stun locked or I was straight up deep frying their brain. More than one time, they didn't know how to react, and the damage was so strong they went down much faster than you'd expect. Bile Titans take a bit more time to cook, but it works just as well. Again, all of this was recorded on level 10 difficulty, and I 1v1'd a Titan by just backpedaling, dodging, and burning it with a flamethrower. It took a little bit over 1 mag before it went down. And for regular ad clear, forget about it. They get annihilated. Yeah, you do run the risk of potentially lighting yourself on fire, which is annoying. But because the flamethrower is so strong now, enemies usually die before they reach you, so it's not as big of a problem. On top of that, I got the flamethrower armor from the Freedom's Flame Warbond, which makes me take way less fire damage. G goddamn G. But the short version, if you're a former fire hater like me and decide to hop back in and try the latest update, strong personal recommendation that you kick off bug hunting with a flamethrower. Next, why don't we talk about another weapon I've gotten into some heated debates about, the autocannon. I have a couple of friends who, even before this patch, would run nothing but the autocannon 24/7, and equipping anything else would basically be considered light treason. And while I respected the autocannon for being fun, I didn't run it a lot because IMO, it wasn't a reliable way of dealing with Chargers and Bile Titans. Now though, autocannons can reliably damage armored enemies, and wow is it noticeable. No more needing to play Ring Around the Rosie and Matador the Charger in a tiny little circle only to shoot it in the fleshy underside of its butt real quick. Even if it's coming right for you, just punch it full of holes and turn it into Swiss cheese. A freaking plus. My only critique now of the autocannon is one I've had for a while. It takes the place of your backpack, meaning you can't rock the godly shield generator pack, which apparently is bugged at the moment and is working way better than it should against melee damage. Don't tell Arrowhead though. Seriously though, don't fucking tell them I need this. The laser cannon is a weapon my good buddy Goth has historically been pretty fond of, but I personally always thought it was outshone by both the expendable anti-tank and the Quasar for the ability to clown heavy enemies. New and improved laser cannon is eating good though. Better cooldown, removed recoil, set enemies on fire faster, and most important, can now damage heavier enemies. Gotta admit, I was impressed. Burned through annoying enemies quickly at respectable range, and really hard to beat unlimited ammo on a weapon like this. I may genuinely include this into my permanent rotation when fighting automatons. Very handy in particular when dealing with gunships, which are less annoying in general now because they have limited rockets. Yay. Anyway, I really don't want to drone on and on because again, so many weapons got great buffs and we could be here forever. I'll try to speed this part up a little bit. Two weapons that were already kind of fire that I'm now hardcore recommending you check out: the arc thrower, which is now genuinely addicting, and the anti-mat rifle, which has also been blessed with the gift of being able to reliably damage heavier enemies. Arrowhead has also brought two fan favorites back from the dead: the breaker shotgun and the railgun. The breaker was the original OP primary weapon that got kicked in the dick after the usage numbers became laughably high after launch. It now has more stagger and a 16 shell mag. I'd say you might become addicted to using it, but we actually have so many good options right now, the breaker almost gets lost in an ocean of other weapon viability. The railgun was the original OP stratagem weapon, which also got kicked in the dick after becoming the hands down best method of dealing with chargers and bile titans. It's back on the menu now without question. Durable damage up to 225 and overcharge damage now capping out at 250%. Happy to report that the railgun has officially gone from "it's so Jover" to "so goddamn back." Chargers and titans will fear it once again, but out of every weapon option that got buffed, the one I think got the most noticeable glow up out of the bunch isn't actually a weapon at all. Introducing the thermite grenade, which went from basically being a meme to becoming maybe the best heavy killer in the game. Arrowhead went and buffed the explosion damage from 100 to 2000, and what we now have is basically a Halo sticky grenade on bath salt. Believe me, dear viewer, that one single thermite grenade can solo a charger on level 10 difficulty if you just attach it to their head. And two will bring down a bile titan. I'm telling you, these things are no joke now. I still think impact grenades are still really viable for emergency crowd control, but there's no doubt that the thermite grenade is my new favorite option. Try out the newly buffed version. If you haven't already, you will fall in love. All right, very quickly, stratagems. Many have been upgraded, but here's the ones I was either shocked by the most or give the hardest thumbs up ever to. First up, the dark horse option that I thought I would never, ever use unironically: the Tesla Tower. When I first used the Tesla Tower way back when, they were basically a joke. Did more harm than good to your team and got torn down easily by enemies immediately. New Tesla Tower is rock solid at shutting down bug breaches or choke points. What can I say? It actually does its job now and will likely stay in action, killing enemies for quite a while before getting shut down. Moving on, I'm not sure I would call it top tier, but Orbital Gas Strike is now officially hilarious. Apparently, Arrowhead fundamentally reworked gas mechanics to prepare for the upcoming Chemical Agents Warbond. It now causes enemies to hallucinate and attack each other, and I cannot tell you how much I love that stratagem for the fun factor alone. Again, not really sure if I would call it top tier. I'd probably rather use a different option that would immediately blow all my enemies to hell, but this has much more personality. One of the most anticipated stratagem updates was the buff to the 500 kg bomb. The original 500 kg bomb wasn't necessarily bad, more like inconsistent. Basically, the damage radius was way smaller than the giant ass mushroom cloud would lead you to believe, so they went ahead and changed that. And yeah, definitely better now, but believe it or not, there's a completely different stratagem that has me in a chokehold: the Orbital Napalm Barrage. This is the newest stratagem added to the game, and I just happened to try it out because I wanted to see how it felt. And yeah, it's good. Like really, really good. Possible new top tier stratagem in my opinion. Covers an absolutely huge area and just lays waste to everything. I'm legit wondering if Arrowhead is gonna eventually nerf some things in the game after all of this buffing. And if they do, well, first of all, there'd probably be a riot. But yeah, there's no way this one isn't getting touched in a future balance patch. Orbital Napalm, really, really good. But anyway, it ain't all puppies and rainbows. Yeah, I like this patch a lot. I ran level 10 missions for several hours with the boys, tried many, many different loadouts, and genuinely felt that I could succeed with so many different loadouts as opposed to before. And not only that, those options and loadouts were fun. I had a great time and would gladly hop on again for more. My one problem right now, Arrowhead, please fix the fucking bugs. No, not those bugs. The ones that I can't believe are still a thing. Players getting kicked from games because their game crashed happened to us numerous times. Still a thing. Literal mission-ending bugs where you can't complete the objective for whatever reason, and you either have to go back to orbit and abandon the mission or wait out the timer just to fail. Bugs where you can't pick up items or weapons off the ground, or whatever the hell this is. What? Boys, I don't know how to tell you this. I'm under the beach. Yeah, I'm okay. Wait. Oh, whoa! Ah! No. I think sandbox-wise, Helldivers is in a really fun place right now, and I'm actually looking forward to more, but these bugs have got to go. Do that, and give people like me one less thing to complain about. Otherwise, GG on the patch, fun as hell, and a solid thumbs up from me. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section, and especially chime in on what your favorite weapon and or stratagems are now after all the buffs. Thank you very much for watching. Peace!